Yo, 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 yo. Is any of it working? There I am on the YouTube. There I am on the Twitch. And the chats get, the overlays get in the Twitch and the YouTubes. We got Puff Shy Guy on the Twitch. Hello, Puff Shy Guy. Lazy Eye on the YouTubes. Hello, Lazy Eye. God, all PR, you're not first H2O Game Studios game development. You were close. You were close, but you came in second, or third if you count Twitch as well. But you gave it a good effort. I respect that. I respect that. From the Discord app. What are we making today? I don't know, let's find out. Let's bust out LDJam.com. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play music, because I don't know how... Does Twitch use the exact same content ID stuff as YouTube for, like, playing audio? If it does, then it means my playlist that I've used before for doing Ludum Dare is fine, because I know I've used that in the past and it's been okay. Now, there's a bit of my mouth like burnt with pizza. Oh yeah, it just feels really weird and swollen. Yeah. Rubbish. Burned gum. Yeah, I'm not really sure, because otherwise it's just going to be a lot of silence, and then me staring at code. Which is always fun. I know you get, I mean, you can always put your own music on, I guess, and kind of have... But, it's always nice, because it feels like it's more the type of thing you watch in the background, isn't it, than necessarily focusing on. Theme voting. All the themes kind of suck. They're not too bad. Well, I mean, I think a lot about these things, but more than actually matters. Oh no, YouTube notifications sent out thing before I changed the title, and it said I was testing Restream.io and doing theme slaughter, which is not true. We're getting ready for actual Ludum Dare. But to be fair, I won't be streaming all night anyway. I'll be streaming for a bit, maybe see the theme go live in an hour and 40 minutes, and then I'm just gonna go to bed, and then I'll wake up the next day, and then we'll be streaming again, and I'll actually be making a thing. That's the plan. So, if you're tuning in tonight, probably not really going to be doing any coding. Sorry. But it will be over the weekend, is the idea. Normally I would like announce on YouTube that I was going to be doing the stream, but I figure since I'm streaming on YouTube anyway, you can all kind of see it. So, doesn't seem hyper necessary. Yeah, but everything changes, cause like when you're doing a game jam, when you know you have a time limit, it changes how quickly you make those decisions, because you know you have to. So it's all a bit different. Oh, I need to, yeah, I should actually be looking, at the overlay chat, because now I know that actually gets both things. Yeah, I will explain my theme votes. Like, I don't like a lot of these, and even the ones I voted up, I don't necessarily like a lot. I felt like I should vote up something. So, I have a few things for me that make a theme good, and everyone is different on this. But this is just based on the fact that I've done like 12 or so of these now, like if you're counting other jams and things. I've done quite a lot of game jams and stuff. A reasonable amount. And in my experience, the best themes tend to be a very small number of words. That's just a coincidence more than anything. It doesn't necessarily mean they're good. They tend to be broad concepts a lot of the time. They tend to be things that work well for beginners as well as not beginners, you know? More than what makes good themes, what makes bad themes tends to be ones that make everyone make the same stuff. Themes that offer like a mechanical constraint. And recently I decided, I personally, a lot of people will disagree with me on this because a lot of people like these kind of themes, but themes that take a known trope in a video game and just flip that one thing and say like you are the villain is a very common one, and you are the monster. Both themes that have been in Ludum Dare probably multiple times at this point, because they encourage you to just make a game that is otherwise a very classic tropey game that is just like every other game that exists, but with one thing flipped, that one idea flipped around. Not everyone will do that, and there are ways to still do that interesting, but oh, I need to update the overlay because I made a new thing for the overlay so it actually says Twitch and YouTube next to the little color dots, in case, because the color dots aren't super distinctive, and like if you were colorblind it probably doesn't make a difference. Like if I, what is it, Control Windows C? It's, you can kind of tell the difference in black and white mode, but not really. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you can see, yeah. So red people are people from YouTube, and purple people are people from Twitch. You can like talk to each other, kind of, in a weird way. Let me update the overlay first of all, because it would be nice. Like one of the things I should do, because I don't want to be like exactly working on the overlay during the jam, right? So I want it to be good. I used to like having a timer on the screen, but I can't be bothered to set that up. Or I could get W split or something like that. That's what I've used before. Where is this? There we go. This is taking a long time to start up. I might need to reboot my computer. Maybe it's all a mess right now. I'm not sure. Hey, Connor broke up. You should try an enter an LD. It's not as... I mean, it is as hard as you think, but it's like... it does... What you submit doesn't have to be good. That's the thing always worth remembering. Like, you should always just enter, submit whatever you get. I always feel sad when people say they quit, like, halfway. Like, just submit it and be like, yeah, I ran out of time. This is what I managed to do. You never know, you might get some advice on what you should have focused on and what maybe would have gone better. Maybe you already know those things, but I don't know. I always kind of believe in just submitting. But then I don't think I've ever hit that point. Actually, no, yeah, I have quit before. I quit in a GM48 once because I tried to do a thing in a day, because I only had a day and it was clear it just wasn't going to happen, so I dropped out. When that just wasn't worth submitting. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm talking out my ass. Maybe you should drop out if it's... I don't know. I don't know. Ignore all my advice. I don't know what I'm saying. What was I going to do? I was going to update my overlay. Just do your best. Just put in your best. But everyone should try, I think. I think I can say that for sure. Everyone should give it a go, and especially if you've not done it before, just don't have any standards. You know, just make whatever you can make. It's kind of harder for me at this point because I've done so many, so I don't want to submit something that I know is like worse than every other entry I've ever done, kind of thing. But if you haven't done any, or if you've only done one or two, just it's whatever. Just submit it. In fact, if it's your first one and it sucks, you definitely should submit, because then your next one will be easier to outdo it. Alright, let's close this version of the overlay, so that'll disappear. I will, someone mentioned earlier about the themes. I will talk about the themes a bit more in a minute, but first of all, I just want to make sure all this nonsense is working. Okie What's that? Oh no. Oh no. Incorrect type, expecting a number. Total results. I don't remember how. I don't remember this being broken. Is it? It is definitely still the same project, right? Yeah, it's got mode and everything in it. Unknown data received, unknown. Then get from YouTube. Oh no. So why is it breaking? Yes, man, found out incorrect type. I mean, looks like we're gonna have to fix the chat before we can start. This is why I wanted to make sure this was working. To be fair, I could just use the version that's clearly working the other thing, but I added a thing to this that I want to make sure is good. Equal page info. Oh, line 59 even, yeah. Maps not equal -1. So we just didn't get a total result. Have they changed that in the API or something? YouTube JSON return. That's not YouTube JSON. That's a Twitch JSON. That's getting chatters. But I don't ever need that anymore. Alright. Oh, if mode 0, right, I need to move this over here because it might have... Oh, we're in Twitch mode, which isn't set up to work properly. So let's put that to mode 2. Then we'll see if it works. Sorry if I miss questions at the moment, because it's hard to look at both chats without the overlay running. Is YouTube stuttering loads? Like, it looks like it's not. Stream health looks okay. Hopefully it's just my browser. I don't know why Chrome's opening. Okay. YouTube, Twitch. Okay, cool. Now we seem to be good. Just going to keep this version up for a bit, just to see if it breaks and anything else needs changing. Cool, and I can't remember what it was I said after a holiday, but I'm glad I helped you. Can anyone join a Ludum Dare contest? Yeah, I can. Of course you can. Get on to ldjam.com, you make an account, and you make a blank game. You may as well just do it early, just make a blank game. Don't have to give it a title or anything. I've already made one. Just title, just it's not even published. Just so it's there, just so you can start editing it whenever. And then you just make a game from wherever you are. over the course of the next 48 hours, or 72 hours if you want to do the jam, which is like the slightly more relaxed version where you can work in teams and so on. If you're doing the 48-hour version, you have to do it by yourself. And there are a few other rules about stuff. You go on the website, it tells you other things, but the rules are all mostly about sort of spirit, you know. Let's have a look at the rules. So, Ludum Dare is an event where you create a game from scratch in a weekend based on a theme. The theme does not get announced until this timer is up, so it gets announced 2 a.m. Saturday for me in the UK. The time will be different depending on where you are, but it starts in an hour and a half, runs for 72 hours. The theme gets revealed and it's been like voted on by everyone else, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. But we don't know what the final theme is yet. The jam, there's two versions of it. There is the jam, and there is the compo. I tend to always do the compo, or if I can. But I always strive to do the compo, and then if I screw up halfway, I can decide actually I'm going to do the jam. You can change your mind halfway. The difference is in the compo, you have to work by yourself and you have to create all of the game by yourself, by you, in the space of 48 hours. So that means all of the art, all the music, all the sound, and you have to include the source code with your submission as well. That becomes public for anyone to download. So there's that. This is like, Ludum Dare hard mode, right? Entirely from scratch by one person, just 48 hours. And that's what I always try and do. But if I get halfway and I realize I've bitten off more than I can chew, or something else bad, usually just there's something else, like I didn't get to use half of one of the days because I was away somewhere or something, I will try to do, I don't know if Halfbeast is participating, he's definitely done it before, there is the jam version, which means you've got 72 hours, means you get all of Monday as well. And also, you're allowed to work in teams for the 72-hour version, and you can use third-party artwork, music, audio assets, because, as I say, and you can work in teams or whatever. But if there's anything in your game that wasn't made specifically in the jam and for the jam by your team, you're asked to opt out of those voting categories. So you can still use those things, but you're not allowed to have people vote on audio that you and your team didn't make, for example, right? That's the idea. And it's all kind of on a system, right? But the cool thing about that is, as I say, even if you are working by yourself, you can try and do the compo, and then if you get to the last few hours and you realize, I don't really want to submit what I have here, you can just give yourself another 24 and do the jam version instead. Harsher competition in the jam because you're competing with loads of people who've had 72 hours and have worked in a team and so on and so forth, but it's not really about that anyway, it's just about making games. There's no prize for entering any of this other than you maybe made a really cool game, and making games and finishing them is one of the best ways just to grow as a developer, always has been, always will be probably. It's not necessarily the be-all and end-all of like how to get good at making games advice, because like I've got a lot of experience making jam games, but I don't necessarily have a lot of experience making larger, bigger games, so there is a difference, but it teaches you a lot of things that there are very few other efficient, effective ways to learn. So especially if you've never done them before, everyone should do a few game jams at least in their life. I think, well, everyone who if you are a game developer or you want to become a game developer, highly recommend doing this at least once or twice in your life. You don't have to necessarily be a person that loves it and does it every friggin' time like me, but highly recommend it as an experience to have at least a few times. The theme gets announced soon. You can't use a level edit. You can, no, not entirely actually, Rectifier. Even in the compo, you can use, you could start with any base code you have. but you're required to share that source code with everyone at the end. So the idea is if you've got some huge proprietary engine that you've made or whatever, and sure, you can use it for this game jam, but then you've got to share it with everyone, right? And obviously you can't, obviously that's got to be code you've written yourself as well, that you have. But you can use any tools or libraries, but again, those have to be publicly available stuff. Yeah, scaling is hard, Crimson Cyborg. It depends on the project and so on, but it's scaling up and keeping code bases clean. That's definitely one of the skills that game jams do not teach you. In fact, they like teach you to not care about that stuff. And they can even give you some bad habits in that regard. Meaning I'm probably one of the worst people to ask for help and that kind of thing. Hello, Kolovarat. Hello, Atreu. Hello, Mohammed Oka. What am I doing in the stream? We're just talking about Ludum Dare and getting hype, and we're probably going to talk about the themes as well. Could I remake my one-way platform tutorial with GameMaker 1.4, but it works with... A lot of people ask me about, like, can you make the one-way platform tutorial again, but have it do this, but have it do that? Everyone wants their own exceptions to tutorials and things I've made, and, oh, I didn't mean to close that. The answer is, honestly, I actually probably do want to do the one-way platform tutorial again, for GMS2 and to do it better. I'm sure there are some better methods than the couple I showed off back in those old videos, but I don't know when that would be. That's probably going to have to something my patrons would vote on. They're the people who generally decide what I get. Hey, free GameMaker Studio 2, good until Wednesday, April the 25th. If you want to take part in Ludum Dare 41, you can bust out GameMaker Studio 2 if you've not already used it. And yeah, on the go. I feel like GMS2 takes a little while to get used to though, so I don't know if short game jams necessarily do it a lot of favors in that regard. But even though, in my opinion, it is, long term actually one of the best tools for this kind of thing. So these are the themes. What inspired me to make games? Mine was games, man. There are too many games that inspire me to list them all. I've never actually used Godot, so I don't know. The chat isn't in GMS2 box caves. It's just it looks. I've designed the overlay to kind of look like a part of GameMaker because I do GameMaker stuff, so it's on brand for me, I can only do tutorials for things I know how to use the rectifier, and I have no idea how to use Love2D, unfortunately. If you made the platformer and make it an RPG MMO, I don't know, man. You have to sign up to be in a Ludum Dare if you can sign up last second if you really wanted to. It doesn't matter when you sign up, but you don't have to sign up to LD41 sort of thing. You just go to ldjam.com, you make an account, and you, I think you do now actually. You go to Ludum Dare 41 or whatever, it'll be on the front page, and there'll be like a, join this jam, and you just make a blank game for it, and then that's basically you there, right? And then you just put this in at the end. You don't have to have entered before it starts, you can enter at any point. The way you enter is just by submitting a game, basically. But ldjam.com is where you go make an account and all that nonsense. You see some of the games, or the handful of games I've made on the new website. I've been doing this since LD30, but obviously you can only see my games from LD38 up here because that's when they changed the website and there's a whole new website now. Why did I choose GMS? I used GameMaker 8.1 originally, I think, to make a game called Perspective that was my final year project at university. It was a tool and I learned how to use it, and it was easy to use, and I made games in it and I've never needed to move away from it, you know? A lot of people always use the language of like upgrading to Unity or like moving on to like more advanced things or whatever, but GameMaker's pretty powerful and pretty awesome, and I've just never I've never run into something I couldn't do that was like, oh, I'm gonna have to learn how to do C++ for that or whatever, you know. Is the short answer to that very involved question. Hello, it's a trash can. Anyway, I keep almost talking about these themes and then getting distracted. So let's talk about the themes. So all of the themes I kind of liked were basically in round 3. There are several rounds of voting that happen the weeks leading up to it. It starts off with the giant thing where everyone, like, loads of people submit themes, and there's like 4,000 themes, and everyone just goes in and basically votes yes or no on each one. And then that's called the theme slaughter. And I don't know exactly how the process works, but that narrows it down to something like 50 something themes that you then have over the course of these voting rounds, right? Or there's like 100 of them, maybe, I don't know. And there's like each round is totally different in theory, and then the final round is like a combination of the ones that were voted highly in the first 3, something like that. I'm probably butchering how it actually works, but and throughout those you can vote them up, down, or like don't care, 0. And yeah, I didn't like a lot of these. For some of them not actually. Some of the ones I voted down, I actually think are alright themes, but I didn't like them on a personal level. So yeah, you know. But I wouldn't mind necessarily got picked. And one thing that's always worth remembering whenever we talk about themes and whenever we talk about what a good theme is or what a bad theme is first of all, it's all obviously like super subjective. I mean, everything's subjective, but this is ultra subjective. And the reason I say that is because it just doesn't matter, right? No matter what the theme is, people will make some amazing games. But it helps when the theme is great because it means more people will make amazing games. And that's the goal, I think, of any theme. The goal of any theme for me, a theme has succeeded if loads of people get great inspiration from it and loads of people can make games and have fun and have a good time with it. The more net happiness and fun and creativity going on among developers, the better the theme succeeded, you know? So it's less about whether I had a good idea for it or whether or not I think particularly cool games will come out or whatever. It's more about whether or not I think everyone will have a good time at the end of the day. Do I think I'll always stick to GMS2 or maybe I'll make games on some other engine? Who knows, man? Never say never. Thanks, glad I could help, and have a good sleep. I will be sleeping. I don't even know. I'm quite tired already. I don't know if I'll want to stay up to sleep. I'm drinking a Coke. Maybe that'll help, but it's a Coke Zero in it, so. That was way too big of a swig, and it was just like in my mouth then for like ages. So let's talk about this one by one. You are the weapon. I really, on a personal level, don't like themes. I've literally just said this on Twitter. I think I don't like themes that give you, and I know not a lot of people agree with me on this because a lot of people like these kind of themes. And I understand why. If you like them, it's great, you know. And I think a lot of cool things can come from them. Totally happy to do them. Think they're alright. But I do not like themes that are a single trope in a video game or a single constraint or a single concept. This isn't really one of those really, but that is like flipped on its head, or it's just like this single kind of video games but Y, video games but X, video games but this thing or something, and that feels like one of them to me. It's like, well, all video games have weapons, right? And they don't. How about you are that weapon? And it just I know you don't have to think of it in this way, but I think all that tends to lead so many people just to thinking along the lines of traditional weapons and traditional weapon mechanics and how they can just fuse that with the player. And people are just stitching tropes together and twisting one specific thing, but then keeping everything else about games that they know to be just what games are like the same. And that feels to me, even though it feels like the intention behind the theme is to encourage creativity and encourage people to... Wow, my face looks really red on my OBS right now. Just the room looks really red. Even though that intends to foster creativity, I feel like it does the opposite. And then people say they don't like themes that are things, and I used to say this as well, things that are just contextual. So like floating islands, for example, is just like, feels like people just go, oh, here's my game, oh, and it's set on floating islands, so I guess that counts as the theme kind of thing, and people don't like that, and people think, oh no, it should be more of a constraint, and maybe thing. But I like, what was I going to say? I like context themes because they give you the freedom to do... They give them the freedom to do that. I like the fact that people can just shoehorn the theme if they don't... If they just got a game they really want to make and they don't care too much about the theme, sure, shoehorn it in, who cares? But it also gives you loads of room to do cool, interesting things with that theme and interesting mechanical things with that theme. Or you do whatever you want with it, and it lets a wide breadth of people do a wide breadth of interesting, cool, different things. And any number of different kinds of games can be set on a floating island. You have RPGs, you have first-person games, you have a jumping puzzle thing where you jump across islands. You can have like an RTS. You can have a million different things in a simple context or an environment. And because you can just have any of those things, I mean, some people will just build something that they know and they trust and they feel happy with, and is very tropey and traditional, and that's fine and great. And other people will build things that intentionally try and get away from being what other things are. And some people will build things that are completely new without really even realizing or thinking about that they're new. They just had some cool game ideas that they managed to fit within this context, and they were allowed to do that. Whereas You Are the Weapon, for example, or combine two incompatible genres, or The Environment Changes You, for example, all of them suggest a specific mechanic or a specific thing that your game kind of has to do. And that, to me, kind of sucks. I know it doesn't... I know you can twist those things, and there are lots of different ways to see the thing, and this is why the theme ultimately doesn't matter. No matter what the theme is, people will find cool things to do. Like, that is never a concern. But I want the maximum number of people to find cool things to do and to enjoy it. And I don't want to have people being like, well, I didn't want to do something that specific, or those tropes are not interesting to me, and I don't want to flip those things around. And that's because those people end up either like making something they didn't care about, or they just end up not taking part because they couldn't come up with anything that inspired them. And that, to me, is rubbish. And it's anti-intuitive, because it would seem like these kind of themes are trying to foster creativity and are trying to make you think outside the box, trying to make you be inventive and clever, but I think they accomplish the opposite. And I think they accomplish people who are twisting things just a little bit and being like, okay, here's my totally original game, even though we've had this theme like 40 times in Ludum Dare now, and well, obviously we couldn't have it 40 times, there's only been 40 Ludum Dares, but you know what I mean. We've had this theme a bunch of times, and, you know, people have made this game like 100 times, and so on, you know. Like, you are the villain, and you are the monster. We have that so many, and there are so many cool interpretations of that, but, like, let's just give something with a bit of breadth. We've got so many people who want to take part in this. It's such a big jam, so many entries. Let's maximize the variety. That's not... I know people love the idea of working within constraints, and there's a lot of stuff out there that tells people, oh, constraints are really good for game design. You make good video games, but it's... I don't know. Anyway, that was a very general talk, so I didn't like You Are the Weapon because of that. Can we see your cat? I don't know where she's at the moment. I think she's probably asleep downstairs. So yeah, You're the Weapon isn't too bad. That's fairly vague because a weapon can mean lots of different things, but it still tends to mean a conflict resolving thing, and I think that's how a lot of people are going to feel forced to see it that way. Only a few people, I think, a very small number of people are going to be able to break out of that and see a weapon as conceptually meaning more than, you know, swords and guns and so on, and like, oh, but you are the sword, and seen it, been there, done that, been fucking... I've played too many games. This is the problem. I've seen some of these ideas that sound new and creative have been done so many times and not in interesting ways. Yeah, I've made a game called Another Perspective that's on Steam. It's fairly well reviewed on Steam. It's a puzzle platformer. I made it a very long time ago now. It's pretty old. But it did pretty well for itself. Earned me way more money than it should have, really, long term, mostly due to the Yo-Yo Games Win Big competition and getting lucky and getting involved in the GameMaker Humble Bundle and a bunch of that cool stuff. Yeah, that game did very well for me. Way better than it should have done. I'm very proud of it, but especially now, I just see every flaw in it, you know, as you will with you always do with your own work, I guess. That is an excellent question, ZW Raw. How would I change the theme selection process? And honestly, I don't know, because I like the process. It feels like it needs to be somewhat more curated, but I don't like the inherent elitism that's gonna come with the vast majority of ways that you can curate it. Because I was talking about some stuff to do with the themes on Twitter, and I think someone said something like, oh, you should have to have submitted a game to a LD before. And I'm like, why does that make you good at picking themes or whatever, you know? And like, you know, what qualifies you as a person to be good at themes? It's something that's so wildly subjective and so wild. I don't know. Oh, thank you for the 11 Mr. Destructoid bits, Gamio1234. Thank you very much. Is that like 11 cents, something like that? I don't know, it's cool. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. You say one of my Twitch chat games, Puff Shy Guy, the only Twitch chat game, Tribal Tension. That's not a bad idea, I can put that on, but I'd feel bad for the YouTube guys because it's not playable over YouTube, it's only playable over Twitch. And there's like 70 of those dudes over there, so I'd feel bad. Oh, Ludum Dare is on my communities, good. Do I have GameMaker on there? I should add GameMaker to my communities on Twitch. I'm sure that is a thing. GameMaker Studio, sure. Update information. Can you make assets before the release of the theme? Not if you're doing the compo. You can if you're doing the jam, but I think anything that's made outside of it, you have to kind of opt out of those categories for. It's a little unclear because it specifies third party, but the idea or the spirit of it is you should wait until the jam starts before you make anything for it, really. It's hard to say on the precise ruling of that. Just, I mean, at the end of the day, the prize is the product and the thing you make out of it. And in my opinion, you should just do what feels right for you. I don't know. Oh, hi, Mike. Oh, of course, that's you. That's Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, King Ludum Dare himself. Good answer. Thanks. I do my best. It's hard. Rules are hard. I don't know. Being your first Ludum Dare, you love the idea of mixing two incompatible genres at first, with actually planning out each possible theme and realize how much more fun the broader ones could be. Yeah, it's like I am all power to the broader themes. This is the thing, and I know it's kind of, I don't know, it feels so snobby to go on about it, but it's just something about the writing of themes as well that gets me. Like, I think I just want them to be well written in a way that's just like expressive and just like conveys as much as possible in the smallest amount of words. So anytime someone feels the need to add like a parenthesis on the end to explain what the theme is, I'm just like so turned off. So when someone says like combine two incompatible genres and then e.g. blah, 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 I'm just like, you could write that better. So what I think, what did I say that I did my snobby rewriting of these on Twitter where I was like, this is what they always should have been. What did I say that one should have been? I said mixed genre at best, right? Because people will do the incompatible stuff themselves. This is the thing. Developers will do that by themselves. The people that want to, and the people that don't want to, I just let them do what they want. You know, that's the thing. I don't like I used to think it was a really good thing, but I don't like super constraining things because it's cool for some people, and then other people are just going to be like, well, I don't want to do something like that, and then they just don't take part, and it sucks. Because if you just say mixed genre, like loads of people, in fact, I think the vast majority of people, knowing how people approach Ludum Dare, and everyone's trying to be original, and people are trying to be unique and do cool and interesting things, people will instantly go like, for my mixed genre game, I'm going to put these two genres together that you never see together, kind of thing, and they'll think themselves as clever for doing so. Whereas when you've said put those two things together in the theme, well, that's what everyone's doing, and it's a limit to what you're going to see, and suddenly those things aren't the interesting things that people hyped to make anymore. It's just the thing people are competing to make the one best version of, you know? So, like, even the ones I voted, as I was going to say, like, even the ones I voted up here, I don't necessarily think are amazing. It's not been a great crop for me, personally, and my personal taste on these kind of things. I went over why I didn't like Your Other Weapon. A Light in the Dark, I don't mind that, actually. I see a lot of light and dark games no matter what the theme is, I feel like. And I don't know that a jam of just those kind of games would be super interesting, because you see a lot of like torchlight mechanics and light and affecting things you can see and you can't see, and there's a lot of space there to do cool and interesting things. I don't think it's the worst theme in the world. I just personally feel like I'm gonna see a lot of that anyway. Like, I think no matter what the theme is, I think you can combine light and darkness with basically any other theme, and you can throw it on top because it's something that supplements your game idea rather than being necessarily the thing your whole game is about. I don't know, though. I don't know. What do we said about that one either way? I don't think that one's necessarily super bad. Keep Growing. There was a theme... It was a Tide theme, actually. I'd forgotten this, when I made Life is Short. the theme was tied between 2-button controls and growth. That was actually a really cool combination, that you've got like a little constraint, and a nice constraint in a way of just like, it doesn't change anything about the game as such. It just says like, you don't have access to all the things you would normally want to do to control it. How are you going to make that happen? It doesn't say anything about the genre or the tropes in the game or anything like that. So I really liked that as a constraint theme, actually, that was 2-button controls. I thought that was awesome. Sorry, that's off topic, but keep growing. Yeah, we've had growth before, and I really liked that as a theme. Even though we've had it before, I don't think the fact that we've had a theme before necessarily means it's bad if it was a good theme. Because then I'm just like, yeah, let's have other people try at that theme. Not just because, you know, maybe we'll see new things done by it, but because if we had fun, you know, every Ludum Dare is going to bring in new people. They should get to have that fun as well, you know? If you missed out on the jam that had the really cool theme, throw it up again so people can have it again and it'll be cool and it'll be fun. Yeah. 3 rules. Again, I think that's not too bad. 3 is so arbitrary that it bugs me on a weird pedantic level that I'm not sure makes any sense. But I don't think that's super bad either. Like, because like, I mean, so many billion different things. 3 is weird because it feels like you might have a cool idea about a couple of rules, and then you've got to like make it have a third one, and like, you know, why 3 is the thing. Maybe a limited number or something, I don't know. Shelter, I think, is cool because it's just a concept, and you just got to think, how does a game fit this? And I don't know, honestly. I mean, there are games that exist. Oh, I need to clean my desk. There's stuff falling over everywhere. You've got things like The Long Dark and games about survival and that kind of thing, and that's the obvious place where your brain goes, right? But Shelter is just a concept. I think you can go 1,000,001 different ways with that, and it would be very exciting and cool. And it's not genre defining. It's not constraining. I think it's a good one for beginners because there's a lot of obvious stuff you can make, and there's a lot of not so obvious stuff you can make. Perfect. Love it. Unusual magic, I think, is dumb because people said like, well, magic that's not tropey. All magic is tropey. I don't know. Like, how do you? What does that mean? All magic is unusual. Magic is unusual by definition, and yeah, I just think that's dumb. Some of the ones I don't like will just be that, like, you know, there's no smart, clever reason. I just think that's dumb because that's how it works. At the end of the day, none of this stuff really matters. As I said, always important thing to remember. None of this matters. Cool stuff will be made no matter what. The theme is just an excuse to get going. Color changes everything. I don't know. As someone who's been doing a lot of thinking about game accessibility and stuff for like colorblind people and all that kind of stuff lately. I'm a little exhausted of thinking about all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I don't know. Loads of people, again, a lot of people make games about colors and stuff as is. It's another one of those things that's about light and dark. You know, it's just it just didn't excite me, I guess, as that one. I don't think it's not super bad. At the beginning, there is nothing. I think it's all right. I think, again, it's one of these ones that's not super well written. I think like what was my example for that? From nothing, right? So from nothing, that's just 2 words, and that conveys all of that, and kind of makes it a tiny bit more broad as well, rather than just saying at the beginning. It's just things that come from nothing. Maybe they come from nothing at different times, not necessarily the beginning, and so on. There's a wider variety of that. I'm gonna vote that one up. Actually, I'm gonna change my mind last second. Because I like the theme, I just don't like the way it's written. But I think that's I don't know. I don't know that that's a good reason to be like, no. Because I feel like that, like, in a way that like intrinsically puts a downer on people who might be suggesting themes that are good ideas. They're just not well written because English isn't their first language, and that, I don't know. I don't know if I feel comfortable with just being like, let's vote down the badly written themes. I think the theme should have editors. I think someone asked me, how would you make the themes better. And controversial idea, because I can already feel some problems with it, but like, I feel like it would be cool if there was just some sort of curation, or like I don't know, someone volunteers who is a good native English writer, to take the themes that make it through to the final 4 rounds or whatever, and just like where like this comes up, and like where stuff just could just be so easily just written a bit better without actually changing what any of it means. They should just rewrite it and just write it in a way that presents it better, which will keep the good intentions of the people who weren't just necessarily good writers, who submitted cool themes that just weren't necessarily well written, while making them more expressive to people at large. I don't know. But I don't know if my standards for what qualifies as good writing is necessarily what is good reading for everyone, rather than just English people, you know? So... But the themes... There's curation to remove dupes in the top 100. Well, I mean, isn't that like an automated process? I don't know. But if the themes were rewritten... were they? I mean, they're all capitalized, so that... Because, like, some of them definitely weren't capitalized in the slaughter. So I could believe that. Well, in that case, they need to be rewritten better. No, I don't know. It's a really tough one. I don't know how I would make it better necessarily. I know some things I would try. I would be remiss to say that they are definitely good ideas. Where was I at? Color changes everything. At the beginning there was nothing. Yeah, I think that's cool. Combine 2 and... Yeah, I've been through this, like... I think I've talked about this one enough and why I think it's pants. And that's not just because of its writing. I think it's just... I really don't like that idea. You really shouldn't mix those. I don't really get what that is, or what that's saying. It conjures up ideas of like being in a lab and not putting 2 things together because, oh, bad things will happen. And I can see some stuff there. I think I'm voting this one down because I just don't understand it, really. Like, I couldn't... Like, I didn't get a clear idea of what that was as a theme, you know? Maybe that makes it an amazing theme. I don't know. Maybe I just need to sit and think about that one more. Well, my hair has a life of its own at this point. Yo, shoutouts to the full Witwicks. Nailed it, Rocker Josh. Oh, I just realised I'm not looking at the overlay. I should keep an eye on the overlay, because that's... Because otherwise I'm only looking at one chat. Let's just check if I missed anything. YouTube, I don't think I did. No, cool. So what was that? Yeah, I don't get what that theme is. I just don't. I don't know. I didn't think it wasn't. It just missed me, and I'm sure it makes sense to some. Yeah, it makes me think of that stuff as well, but that's all it makes me think of, guys. Boris Rumor is like, is that a theme? Is that, I don't know, is that something that's broad? Is that something that's, I don't know. Well, it wasn't keen. Yet it's here in the final round, so you know, maybe I'm wrong. A lot of people are clearly relating to that a lot better than I am. So Floating Islands, I think, is great. And I get why a lot of people do not think so. I get why a lot of people are like, nah, on this one. Because it's just a context. I think it can be made to say some things about mechanics, but I think for the most people, it's just like an environment, and you can picture it in your head, right? That actually creates a visual. And I think of that on itself as a huge turn-off for a lot of people, that it creates a visual. Because you think, well, every game is going to be this, and it's going to be that, and it's going to be this picture you've got in your head. But I don't think that's the case because it's completely non-genre defining. And I think a lot of people might assume that there's only a limited number of games that you can make on floating islands or whatever. But I think there's so many different things that can be done with that. So many different genres that could encompass in games, and I think it's good for beginners, and it's an interesting one to explore if you are more used to this kind of thing. And yeah, I think that's good. This is why people vote what you think about that. Oh, and that's what I've done. I just like talking about it, you know. I like thinking about it. I like talking about it, and I fully accept that it's all nonsense and it's subjective and doesn't mean anything. I find it interesting personally. You are the wife who makes me think again we are playing as the Hulk. I think it's. I want to clarify something as well. I think I would be fine with any of these. I think the most upsetting one to me would be this one. And I wouldn't be too bad. You know, I'd be like, eh. But you know, I'd still do it. I would rock any of these. I would make a game no matter what one of these came up. Okay, the worst two would be these two. I think. That's what. In fact, I think actually this one would be worst for me. This one would be second worst. This one would be worse for me just because it would make me blank. Like I just really wouldn't know what to do with it. I can't seem to relate to it or seem to get behind what that idea is at all. I'm totally fine with doing. I don't think any genres are incompatible, really. I don't know. I think it's just such a. I don't know. It sounds like it's being more creative than it actually is. I think it's trying to be creative and inventive, and I think it has the best of intentions. I just think the types of games that come out of it are anti-intuitively actually the least creative and the sort of thing we just see all the time, and it's just, I don't know. But any of the others I think are good. And I wish there was a -2 I could put on these two. It Spreads, I think, is good. I mean, like, I think all the ones about growing and expansion are good because there's a lot of nice, easy, fun things for beginners, and I think there's a lot of still a lot of broadness and a lot of room to be creative and do interesting things as well. So I always think those are good. I always like to err on the side of things that have good things in for beginners, even though, you know, you might think, nah, it's the same things every time, but some people are going to be new and they're going to want to just make something they can understand. I think that gives you the freedom to do both, which is good. The environment change I don't think is awful. But again, I think it's just one of these, like, mechanical constraint. Like, oh, it's like a video game, but instead of you doing this does that. And that's a bit, you know. I don't know. It's just me, but no, I don't think it's super bad though. I think I can see a lot of cool things in that as well, like things to do with chameleons and stuff blending into backgrounds, and that's the thing. It implies that there is an environment, and it implies that there is a you, and I think you're instantly looking at a game with your player object and moving a thing, and maybe. And and it isn't because I know you can twist it and you can do more than that, but I think most people won't. And yeah. Fragile, I think, is great for the exact same reason Shelter is great. It's just a concept, and 1,000,001 different ways you can go with it. One of my favorite. I keep saying when I talk about this. I always say one of my favorite themes of the Global Game Jam. Only ever done one Global Game Jam, so, but it was a really good theme. The theme was Ritual. Oh, it was a great theme. Loads of cool stuff came out of that, and it was just a concept, and it can mean so many different things, so many different contexts, and it just led to a million different genres of things people were making board games and things and turning that, and it was wonderful, magical, loved it. I think Fragile is very similar. You can be talking about any kind of genre, any kind of context, any kind of anything. Loads of cool ideas that come to mind, forces you to think creatively. And the thing is, people are like, oh, I like these ones that make you think creatively, like environment. No, it doesn't. It hands it to you on a plate. Does the environment changes you, and you are the villain, and you are the monster, and friggin' trope XYZ, but not kind of thing. It hands the game idea to you on a plate. It doesn't force you to be creative. It's the opposite. What forces you to be creative are stuff that is broad and wide and doesn't give you any idea where to start. Because then you're just going to draw on your experiences, and you're going to produce something that is, hopefully you're going to produce something that is you, and is, I don't know. Who knows? It's all bollocks. You are what you eat. Again, it's like, it implies that there is a you, and that you is consuming, so it's making you think things like platformers, first-person games that center around a character you control and a thing, and just, pardon me, that was a mid-sentence burp. I very much apologize. So yeah, just about that one. Self-replication. Again, why not just replication? Why not, maybe I'm making a game with clones and things, and why does it have to be focused around a self, an identity, a single, player thing? I know the niche of player, saying like everyone's going to make a game with an player is really only a niche gag that GameMaker users get. But what I mean by that to people using other engines is that it's going to revolve around a character that the player controls, right? Something that you can identify with as the self or the you, or the thing. So that's my problem with those themes. So yeah, I'm really picky and weird and stuff when it comes to themes. I think I've gotten increasingly so, because I used to be really different from everyone else, and I've fallen in line hard. Like most people who vote on these things I've seen vote like I do pattern-wise. And I don't mean they like the same themes as me. I mean they vote 90% of things negatively, and in the slaughter they vote down almost everything, and then there's just a handful they like. A tiny handful of themes that they actually like. And now I used to be the opposite of that, and I still think this thing, I think I voted loads up compared to what most people would. I used to mostly vote positive, and I've completely changed since then. I don't know what's changed. Maybe it's the themes that's changed. Maybe it's me. It's probably both. But now I've basically fallen in line to how everyone votes like that, and I vote down the vast majority of things, and I find reasons to dislike so many different things. But as I say, I think you can do. I think anything's good. I think they're all fine, really. I think the part of me that knows that the vast majority of them are fine and are good, is the part of me that was the only part that was bothering to think about it back when I first started this, and that's why I probably voted more things up. Shelter makes you think about protection from projectiles. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Protection, a safe place, more literally like housing. Loads of things. Shelter's loads of things. Love it. Love it. I think you see a lot of tower defense things. I think you see a lot of winter survival type things. I would love to make something like that. And you know what? It's a great idea. You know what? It's a great piece of advice for doing game jams and for doing things like Ludum Dare. And this all sounds weird, and it might contradict other advice, but that's just the nature of advice and all this kind of nonsense, right? Is a lot of people give the advice to don't go with your first idea because someone is already making it. Don't go with your first 10 ideas. I mean, I don't know who these people are who actually have 10 ideas, but I'll say drop your first X ideas. Someone's already making them. I think I think dropping your first few ideas is good, just because it gives you room to consider more ideas. But I think you shouldn't care what anyone else is making. I don't think you should care or even care what's already been made. I think you should make whatever sounds like it's going to be fun and a good time for you making it, and not care if it's been done before. Don't care if you're making a clone of some game that you just like. Just make it. Just make the thing. Make the thing you're gonna like. Because it'll be better. All the games I've done, well, not all of them, but like some of the games I'm most proud of in Ludum Dare, some of the ones that came out the best, were ones where I wasn't trying to be too clever. The games where I weren't trying to... Let's just have a look at the games where I wasn't trying to come up with something super original, or that had like some sort of deeper meaning, or something, just like a gun that shoots bees. This came out so well. When it was the theme was an unconventional weapon, I was just like, I have a gun and it shoots bees. Let's go, and that was it. I just ran from there, and I made like a little wave defense game where bears came and you just shot them with a gun with bees, and you went around picking up nectar, and that gave you upgrades, and it was awesome. And I think it came like 4th or something. I don't even remember. I came 4th in fun, 8th overall, and friggin', like, I just didn't think about it. I just like, that sounds funny to me, and I made loads of stupid bee puns. Like, you just need to believe with the bee, and I absolutely loved it. And if that taught me anything, it's that don't try and be too clever. So then I went and spent a bunch of Ludum Dare just trying to be too clever. You Are the Weapon makes another game about a guy with bee shooting powers. If you are the weapon, in that case, you are the bees, right? That would be a great one for You Are the Weapon, right? You are just a swarm of bees. That's cool. I'm doing that. If that's the theme. You're a swarm of bees. I'm gonna make another bee game, and it's gonna be amazing. You're a swarm of bees, and I'll just go from there and see where we end up. Space Shifter did really well. Way better than I thought it would. It came 3rd overall, this one. Mad. And the theme was shapeshift, so I made a guy who could shapeshift. And it was just a platformer, and you had to go around getting parts of your spaceship back, because it was like Pikmin or whatever, right? And you could like turn into a chicken. And I'm like, why, he's the chicken now. And the chicken would fall slower. It was basically like Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey totally stole this off me. So, like, that's my excuse when people have a go at Pokey Poke for being, like, inspired by the Pokio creature from Mario Odyssey. I just feel like, well, Mario Odyssey stole from me first. Because there was one of the forms in this where you're a frog, and you could jump super high, and even down to the animation, like, it's exactly the same in Mario Odyssey now. Nintendo sent 20 spies to go and find out what my best Ludum Dare games were, and they stole my mechanics for their highly popular Mario series. That's definitely what happened there, and I think they should be absolutely ashamed of themselves for stealing my ideas. Absolutely ashamed. Exactly right. They just, they spy on mine specifically. They were like, damn, this game by this Sean JS guy came 1st place in theme and 3rd overall. We need to steal his strats. But again, that's a game where I didn't think too hard, and I just started making. It did really well. This game, I don't know how well, I can't think it did that well in the jam. I'm not sure, because it was, I don't think I even paid. I think this is probably one of the ones that didn't even get rated, because I'm not sure I like rated enough entries myself. I just ran out of time. Sometimes that happens. I just don't have time in the voting week to play enough games and rate them, because I always want to play them properly if I want to rate them, and it takes time, you know. And sometimes I don't, and therefore I don't get rated myself, which is fair. That's how it works. But I was super proud of this one, and it's my most played game, and it's just a game of stupid jokes about Windows 95, and the theme was ancient technology, so I went with Windows 95, which I thought was cool. I just made a stupid point-and-click game, and I made it in like 7 hours, because I had like no time for this one. Really proud of that one, that was cool. Was it something I said tries to be clever? I like that game, but it was one that tried to be clever, therefore was harder to pull off well. So was Multiplanet. That wasn't Ludum Dare, that was a different jam, but similar with that one. Life is Short I really liked. That was a really lucky one. That's a combination where I got an idea that wasn't just silly, it was actually something that really meant something to me, and I made something that I was really proud of there. I was really happy with that one. Like Planestroll, that's my first ever Ludum Dare game. That was Connected Worlds, which I found really difficult because I just finished making a game called Another Perspective, which is a game about shifting your perspective between two different characters that can see two different worlds, and I couldn't get my head away from that, and even Planestroll ended up being quite similar as a concept to that. And every bloody Ludum Dare I see switching perspectives or changing perspectives, and like, no, not that. But I think on that one again, I was like, sometimes you can be trying too hard, I think, to find something that you think is clever or works really well at the theme, and I think it can make you deliver on something that's kind of weak. I like that game, but I think compared to some of my better ones, it's weak. And I mean, it was my very first Ludum Dare entry, but and these are just my various source codes for GameMaker things. Box was cool. I liked Box. I finished early for that one, actually. I finished like with a bunch of time to go, and I was just like, there's nothing else I want to add to this. How often do you ever get to say that when making video games? Like, never. But I just got to a point where it's just like, I'm done. There was nothing else I wanted to add that I thought I had a lot of time for. I could have done music or something, I guess, but I'd feel like I had like 3 hours or something left, and I was just like, you know what, I'm happy with this, I'm just done. There's something really refreshing about being able to do that. I'm not saying it was a perfect game, but I was just done with it, you know. 5,000 signups, that's pretty cool. There won't be that many games though. You won't get as. I don't know actually. If I'm talking about my ass, I don't know what the stats for that are at all. Because it might be that some people don't sign up until like the last second when they just like sign up and make the thing and put it in. So maybe you'll end up with more. I don't know. But my theory would be you would get less games to sign up because a lot of people quit halfway and all that kind of thing. How do I get my sprite sheets? I draw them. I don't know what you mean by that question. That's all of math. Thank you, by the way. Your videos helped me make your first game. Made me love game development. Cool. I never know whether to be like, oh, awesome, or like, I'm sorry for your loss when people tell me that I made them love game development. Got you into this awful hobby. Nah, just kidding. Game dev is great. Sometimes. Last event has 3,000 games submitted. Baller. Combo. How long we got? We got 30 minutes until I could put tribal tension on. I feel bad for YouTube because they can't play it, but I mean, I guess they can watch, and if they really want to take part, they can just jump over to the Twitch chat and then jump back to YouTube or whatever. I could put it on because I'm running out of nonsense to talk about, and mostly I'm just sitting up to see what the theme is. So I could put that on. It's a game I made for Ludum Dare before. Sign up for Ludum Dare. Do you have to publish the empty game? No, no, Anchor GUI, like you don't have to do anything to sign up as such, right? Like as in beforehand, you know. To the best of my knowledge, that's never been how it's worked before. Like I know I clicked a button that was like enter jam, but yeah, I'm pretty damn confident you can do that at any point. It just helps if you do it beforehand because it saves you time. Oh wait, I'm signing on the wrong website here. There we go. Right, if I log out, I'm Dare 41. Okay, no, it doesn't even have the thing on there. But when I didn't have a game for it, it had a button that was like enter game jam, but I think that's kind of a misnomer. Like I think when you click that, it just brings you to the my game and you can make a game for that game jam thing, which you should do because then that means you've got a game ready in that game jam. You don't have to hunt that thing down during the submission hour when you're rushing around, right? So get it done and then it's there. And then all you have to do is edit it. You just like when you finished making your game, you come here and you put in your title, put in your description, do all your uploads, read all the things. As a hosting guy, is all the nonsense. Just do all the things it tells you to do. Preview it if you want, save it, and go check it out and be like, well, there's my game, and then it'll be in. I think there's a publish button you probably have to click somewhere. I don't know, but if you think about it, don't. Yeah, there's no like thing you have to tick to be like I'm signed up, and if you didn't tick that, you're not in kind of thing, you know. It's about the submission, not about the sign up. I think that's what I'm trying to get across. I'm bad at explaining things sometimes. Did you know I make tutorial videos? 6,200 votes for the chosen team Koi. That is votes. That's more votes than there are people signed up, though, isn't it? I don't know. But then maybe that's more indicative of people taking part then, actually, because people might have accounts but have not made a blank game yet or whatever yet. That is many votes. Yeah, so I think if you're doing like, I don't think most do actually. You know, like a GM48, you don't. I don't think you have to with most itch.io things. You might have to. Well, it depends on the rules those specific people set for their specific communities, I guess. But the vast majority of the time, it's always about submitting rather than signing up, right? Even like the global game jam or whatever, like you. My mind just blanked. I forgot what I was going to say. Even the global game jam, you show up. The site registered, but you just sort of show up to your site, you make your thing, and then you make your page at the end, and you submit it, whatever. It just helps if you make that stuff early, because then it's done already. Right. Let's put up some of the old Triple Tension. I'm going to save out the overlay. Hang on. So I'm going to kill the overlay for a second, and because it seems to be working okay, it's not crashed or anything. So let's create the overlay, compile it out. Oh yeah, I'm now playing things my music as well, but I'm not sure if I can do my music because I'm streaming on YouTube as well, and I don't know how content ID is gonna be or feel like, because I know you can actually get your stream like stopped on YouTube if you break that kind of stuff rather than just having the VODs muted or whatever. So I want to be careful about that. Overlay, restream overlay, save. That's it. very involved. The simplest answer to that question is, yeah, to become a game developer, you just develop a game. But, you know, where do you start? How do you... There's a lot of different things that question could mean. So the real answer is be more specific. But the simplest answer is yes, make a game. Congratulations, you are a game developer. But I'm aware that's not always the most helpful answer or the answer people are looking for when they ask that. So be more specific if you want something more specific. Let's delete those, extract those, run, restream overlay. It's up, and then gets all the YouTube people right away, and then Twitch people. Yeah, it doesn't get Twitch. Yeah, Twitch people will just show up as they talk. So it works a little bit differently. I should be able to minimize that, and it still moves good. Well, the game looks like so far. Oh no, you can't, because the theme hasn't even been announced yet, man. Yeah, it's because I was recompiling the overlay Sheep Studios. It's literally made in GameMaker. Take a brief look at PokePoke as well, because it's here. Just gonna mooch through projects now. Wish you had GM2. It's free at the moment, only for the few days of Ludum Dare. I think it's free up till like the 26th of April, so you can go try it out for a little bit and see what you think. And then there's like a hobby version that you can get. So it basically gives you, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong, but the last I was aware of it, the hobby creator edition or whatever it's called, is like $40, and you get it for 12. You basically get developer for 12 months, basically, and that's cool because you can do everything. Then you can just make games in it, and it's when you get that, you then get a discount price. You get the upgrade cost to developer discounted. So then when you decide, oh, I like it, it's good, at the end of your 12 months, you can just pay the remaining $60 and get your full thingy license. Got a bit of lag going on at the moment, and I'm not sure what the crack is. It might just be, I might have to make sure to like reset my computer. Something. Can I still light this on fire? Or does that not work anymore? No, it doesn't seem to work anymore. Let's just cook this marshmallow. I'm not making any game. Whoever that person, I missed your name. The person who asked what game is they making, I came in late. I'm just sort of cycling through my projects and getting ready. We don't know what the theme is yet for Ludum Dare 41. So I know on YouTube I think it says in my description like making a game in 48 hours, but technically that's a little bit misleading for this is like the pre-Ludum Dare stream where we're just sort of getting hype and talking about Ludum Dare and talking about themes and just chilling. We've got 21 minutes until theme gets announced. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of lag in this. Marshmallow on the spear doesn't currently do anything, but this is a game I made for GM48, or is like, and or it's bits of it anyway. Like I'm kind of reshaping it into something new. This isn't what the actual game, because obviously there's not much of a game world here, but there is a game world in the actual thing. Countdown only shows 5 minutes. I don't know whether it's changed, but it should be at 2 a.m., which is 21 minutes away. Let's take a look. Let's also take a look at why I'm lagging out so much. It might be because I've got 2 Firefox tabs that are like playing video. Let's close some of this nonsense. I don't need any of this stuff. Let's pause the video preview on there. Close that. I don't need the video previews on the pages themselves. Let's pause it on here as well. Let's video output low. You recommend I stream at a bitrate of 4500? Are you mad? Alright YouTube, chill out. 40, that is many bitrate. Like 2500 is the good bitrate I use. I turn it down to like 1500 when I want to have a low one. Why is YouTube feeling rubbish about it? Does the footage look bad on YouTube? Is it stuttery? Seems okay from here. It's the first time I've ever complained about it. These are the same settings I've always used. Interesting. Don't wait battles age, just do them regardless. Just make whatever you can. IMO. Looks fine, fair enough. This weekend, battles age. So in about 18 minutes, we're gonna see what the theme is, and then I'm gonna go to bed. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm probably gonna do some idea brainstorming. I tend to do that off stream. I've done it on stream in the past, but I prefer to do the planning and thinking about it just by myself. I find it hard with the pressure of also having to having like an audience and everything like that to do that kind of stuff. I can do it. I prefer not to. And yeah. So like I'll do that, and then when I'm reasonably happy, or when I decide I want to start streaming, or I've started working on the game, whichever comes first, I will start streaming. So we're probably looking at like, in terms of me actually starting to work on the game, I don't know, 12 hours from now. I don't know, probably less than that. Somewhere between 8 to 10 hours from now, depending how much sleep I get. Sleep is important. Sleep is very important. Make sure you get enough sleep. Maybe pomegranate. I'm not sure. I'm yawning and everything. I am tired. Which is weird because my sleep's been bizarre lately, and I've usually been up till like 2 a.m. fine. Sometimes like working and stuff. But today I'm actually really tired, which is probably a good sign. I don't know. It's my sleeping pattern getting back to normal. But no, the compo's not longer this time. It's the same length. Starts at 2 a.m. for me anyway, UK time, and will end at 2 a.m. for me, UK time on Monday. So it's 48 hours. And like, yeah, like seeing the theme and then going immediately to bed means like a lot of people will have already started work and will have done like a bunch of work on the thing, but they all have to sleep at some point. And when they do, I've already had my sleep, so that's when I catch up, right? And you may think, well, what if they don't sleep? They power through. Well, it's probably not going to help them. Sleep is important and is very helpful. Why can't the one thing that I want be to just always be... Oh, no, it doesn't work. Hi, Sean. I'm working on an RPG alone, and I often lack motivation and enthusiasm. I mean, I love to work on it, but sometimes I feel that sense of fatigue and monotony. Any advice? Yes, I've been asked this question before, and I tend to go on big 10-minute tangential rants about how what you're talking about isn't really motivation. What you're lacking most likely is actually discipline. Most likely, I don't know your exact situation, but what tends to be the case when people say I love working on this thing and I really want to work on it, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. It's because there's something that came up that got hard, or something that was a bit tedious that you didn't want to do. Maybe you didn't want to do the planning bit of something, or you didn't want to do the bit that you're currently working on, or some part of working on it is a bit monotonous and not that fun, and that's just how it is. So some things just aren't that fun. Making games is a huge, incredibly complex task that demands so many millions of different skills, and you're not going to like all of the things that you have to do involved in it. You've got to learn to just do them anyway. If you really want to make the thing, I guess. And that's not saying... I always have to be careful when I say things like that. It's not about crunching yourself, or it's not about forcing yourself to work too hard. It's like being honest with yourself and just doing the work, There's no real... There are tricks, but there's no long-term cure for that sort of thing, other than to become more disciplined and be able to tell yourself, yes, I can... I am able to refuse myself when I want to stop working on something, or I want to... I don't know, it's tough to explain. The thing is, when you lack motivation, you're perfectly motivated to do the project, otherwise you wouldn't have started it. The problem is that then you become motivated to do something else, like watch TV or play video games or work on something new and exciting, So, and because motivation will only ever carry you so far. One trick you can use, is something I kind of did, is make small projects and small games. That's why I'm really good at game jams and why Another Perspective was a cool game project for me, because it was a very focused small project. Is because you can finish the thing before your enthusiasm runs out. That's the magic of game jams. Is that they're so short and so compact, and you're making a thing that's just a space of time, that you don't really need any discipline to do it. You need a bit, but not all that much. You can actually be carried mostly by your motivation to do it, because the thing is fun throughout for the most part. I feel like there's a weird bell curve with game jams, like they're really fun at the start, and then they hit a point where you're like, oh god, this game is awful, and then they pass back over the hill and like, oh, actually, I'm okay, this is quite good, I'm quite proud of this. And then that's like the ideal curve anyway that seems to happen with game jams. But mostly you can carry yourself through motivationally. Whereas with longer term projects, you can't do that. And that's a whole skill in and of itself. And that's my advice for that, but it's tough, and I feel weird about giving that advice because I'm not great at that sort of thing myself, and I don't stick to long-term projects a lot, and I wanted to turn Tribal Tension something bigger, that's been kind of put on hold. I wanted to do something with Life is Short again, that ended up getting put on hold, and now I'm working on Poke, and part of me thinks that might end up getting put on hold, and I'll go back to doing something else. And I haven't finished a commercial project since Another Perspective, you know. And it's like, because I keep chasing the now and the thing that I'm motivated for, rather than having that discipline to sit through long projects when they actually get hard and when they actually get difficult to work on. And when they actually stop being fun for whatever duration to work on. It's my biggest failing as a human being. And I got plenty, but my biggest one is like rooted in my inability to do things that aren't immediately fun. It's one of the reasons I've ended up as an independent. In some ways, it's driven things that have been very positive in that regard, you know, and it's ended up me doing my own thing. It's what led to me doing the work I do now and wanting to have that sense of control over things, because I always just want to do the thing that's immediately fun now, but it is also the source of all of my biggest personal failings. All of them. Absolutely all of them. And I'm proud of myself for being aware of that, but at the same time, there's so much work I've got to do as a person to get over some of that stuff. It's tough, man. How many games have I developed through to completion? Have I released anywhere about developing games in the days of Flash? I used to do animations in the days of Flash, and I started in the tiny bits of ActionScript, but never enough to actually start making a game. Games that I developed through to completion, I mean, every jam game, like, you could argue is complete, right? It depends how you define complete. But I have one commercial video game that is independent commercial video game anyway, that is Another Perspective. It's out on Steam. If you're on Twitch, you can see it down there somewhere. If you're on YouTube, you can go to my channel. I think I have there's like a trailer for it in the My Games section, and it's, as I say, it's on Steam. You can find it pretty easily. Another Perspective. It's a puzzle platform thing. Costs about £4. Probably less than that now. I don't even know. Or you can get it on itch.io, and I make more money for it that way, and it's cheaper. So go get it on itch.io, because you get a Steam key anyway. Not even sure if I'm supposed to do that. Seems a bit weird. Seems like I'm kind of subverting the system, but I don't think there's any rules against that. I don't think so anyway. What time is it where I live so I can know when you start streaming tomorrow? It is almost 2 a.m. where I live, which is when I'll be going to bed, because it's when the theme will get announced and we'll be like, oh, that's the theme. Maybe we'll talk about the theme for a few minutes. But then I'm just going to go to bed. And I have no idea what time I'll wake up, because I never do. And so I can't give you an honest estimate for when I'm going to start streaming again tomorrow. But I'll be streaming all weekend. So you don't need to worry about catching me right at the start. You'll be able to catch me as and when, and people will be dropping in every few minutes to ask what I'm making. So someone will be able to answer. So I think I don't have the chat bot set up to be able to send things to YouTube chat, which is unfortunate. Because on Twitch I have !FAQ, and I can fill a little text document with a thing that tells you what game I'm making, and then people don't have to ask every few seconds what game I'm making. Yeah, I put text. I often do that as well, Sheep Studios, but people ask anyway. Oh, people are like, can I see the game? Well, I'm like working on code. I'm just like, you'll see it eventually. I need to make the thing. When are you gonna do the graphics? Is the player always gonna be a square? When are you gonna add combat? When are you gonna do the thing that you obviously want to do before the end, but when are you gonna do it? I need to know. It's very important that I know these facts about your game. Help me! No, I'm kidding. I love you all, really. It's the curse of any streamer, man. Is to know it's something you get used to, but you also never really get used to. Is the fact that when you stream, you're not just streaming to one fixed audience who's been watching and concentrating all along, just like, let's actually just sit here for 48 hours and watch this man make a video. No one's doing that. You all got better things to do with your lives. I mean, if you are, you know, shout outs to you, but I don't think anyone's doing that. And the same is true for any kind of streaming and anything anyone does. And so every few minutes someone is leaving and someone is joining, and the people who joined haven't seen what happened a few seconds ago, and people who have left are no longer there to tell people what happened a few seconds ago. And so people come in, they don't know what's going on, they ask. They're like, oh, what is he making? What's he doing? Is he planning to do that? Is that? So they ask. And it doesn't occur to them either that this person's been streaming for a while. They've had this question asked them 1,000,001 times. So they don't realize that, and the streamer doesn't really realize necessarily that the nature of people dropping in and out. And so it can be really frustrating. So it's just like, why are people asking the same question over and over? It's because they don't know. They only just got here. And it's a curse of streaming. Oh, we got a countdown. Oh, I'm not the highest on the live thing, guys. No. Who's I got a team young dudes, and oh man, I'm not the cool hip guy on the front of the Twitch thing anymore, guys. It's time for me to quit game development. Why are everyone watching these guys? Why aren't they watching me talk to myself? It's clearly more interesting, right? I don't know. I'm sure that stream's great. Who else is streaming though? Who else is in this thing? Let me see. Is there anyone I know? Oh wow, we got streamers. Look at this. Oh, we got scrolling. Oh, look, these guys got no view. Oh, that makes me sad. Everyone go find someone who's like not being watched. And go see what they think. Well, I mean, maybe not now. I don't know. Maybe wait till it started and they're doing something interesting, because we're all just doing nothing right now, right? but once we're underway, go check out all these guys. Go check out everything they're making. Promise me, some of you will do that. Some of you will just make the rounds. You know, go see what everyone's doing. Oh, there I am. With a nice freeze frame on me like that. There I am, just chilling. I actually don't recognize any of these streams, so that's interesting. Normally it would be like, Latch Game Dev, I've seen him before. But we got new streamers, man, because I don't know any of these people. That's cool. I'm just streaming Twitch at this point, right? Cool. Yeah, I honestly don't really know any of them at all than that one guy. Whoa. Yo, that is yeah, I'm cutting this fine by just messing around. We got the theme coming up soon. I want to know what it is so I can go to damn bed. What are we betting? Oh, I should have implemented some sort of betting thing into the overlay, shouldn't I? So that like I could have numbered them from like 1 to 10 or whatever thing, and you could all like have betted. Oh, the website's fucking dying now because I'm good. Anyway, this is right. Pro tip. This is the pro tip for Ludum Dare. Do not refresh the website to find out what the theme is. Do not. Right. Pro tip. You go to Twitter. You type in Ludum Dare. Oh, he's French. The guy in the front's French. That's a thing. That is, yeah. LD is very internet. No, not Ludum Dare. Ludum Dare. LD is very international. Yeah, somehow. Yeah, don't watch his stream. He's an ass. Don't go watch Sean JS. He sucks. Tell me out 30 seconds. This is the place. This is the place you come to find out the theme. You don't badger Ludum Dare servers. You come here. You come here, chill. You wait with bated breath, and you F5 until you see what the theme is. Because then he does a cool graphic as well. There we go. See, straight out. Oh, for what did I tell you? What did I tell you? They reworded it though, which is good-ish. Combine two incompatible genres. They took out the parenthesis, so that's good. And they've put like a really weird ass savage in there as the image. I like the images he does. I do like it. But yeah, obviously I did say the only two themes I'd be a little upset about were those two, and sure enough, that's what it is. I think I'm a little sad. Not because I'm still gonna do it. I'll do the thing. I'll think of something. I'll have a good time with it. I don't mind, but it makes me look forward less to seeing what everyone else's games are and seeing how everyone else interpreted it. You know, it's such a trite constraint, and I don't know. I really don't like it. But we work with the hand we're dealt. So we have been dealt. Combine two incompatible. So they have to be incompatible. They have to be genres. No, what my. Oh, I hate this guy. He wanted it. My God, why? Who the fuck? Right. To be fair, this is how people respond to literally everything. Everything. But I am totally also relating to them right now. No, of course not. Puff shy guy. But that's how other people will judge it, you know? So, for me, the theme rating is already a wash. Like, who's gonna win on theme for this, you know? Like, whoever combined the two most incompatible genres? But if they were truly incompatible, then the game would suck. You know? Otherwise, what they've done is just proven that those are not incompatible. It's dumb. I don't know. It's just ugh. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. I was gonna choose some sort of like thinking about it on stream, but I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere trying to think about what my idea would be on stream. I think I'll make some notes myself and think about it and go to bed. And yeah, it's such an unexciting theme. I'm trying not to complain too much about it because I think it only matters so much, but man, it's hard to shake. Here are the results. Right, yeah, let's take a look. I was waiting for this as well. So is that it getting the least downvotes? So the environment changes you got more upvotes. So did Shelter, so did Fragile. It's one of the good ones. So did Unusual Magic, so did Self-Replication. What's that final number? I don't understand what the numbers are showing me here, actually. But it looks like votes for, votes against, but I don't know what this is. I thought it was total, but then they don't add up. Yeah, I'm not wholly sure what that final column is, but my best guess here is that that is votes for and that is votes against. Which sucks because this is the problem where everyone votes negatively so much that the only ones that win are the ones that get voted against the least, as opposed to the ones that were voted for the most. Yeah, those numbers to me just feel like, I don't know, something. It's just my own biases coming into it, and just me trying to picture a world in which everyone agrees with me, and therefore everyone clearly didn't really want this to win. You know, it's just my own biases coming through in that, but it is making me feel like maybe something about this needs reworking. I don't know. Because, like, there's so many votes for the ones that are good, but just more people voted them down. Why did so many people vote? Ah, man. It just weirds me out. People were okay with this one? And again, I think might just be also the problem that intuitively it sounds like a really creative one. Like, oh yeah, whoa, it'd be cool to take two things that are never normally the same, never normally together, and put them together. It'll be really creative and unique, and it's just not. It's just like, I may as well have just said bad game ideas as the theme. I mean, that's a tweet in itself, right? So the theme is bad game ideas, but not really. I want the think emoji. What's the think emoji? That's this one, right? Hashtag LD chat. See y'all tomorrow. Ugh, that is, yeah. I don't think I was thinking. I really didn't actually give it that much. I didn't think it would win, you know. And I'm very used to ones I voted down winning. Like that happens like every time. Totally used to that. Really did not expect that one to win though, and it's just hitting me now. Like, oh, it'll pass. You know, the waves will pass over me, and I'll get over it, and we'll start making something. But for now, I'm just like, dang. Yeah, totally. Like that's one of the advantages of streaming to YouTube as well, is that it will automatically archive the whole thing for me. So then all I have to do is just make that public, and then boom, the whole thing's there. I probably won't like keep this bit because it's just me talking nonsense. It's not really a useful video, and it's probably not going to do one of my search rankings or anything that good. Not that a 48-hour video is going to do that anyway. But I'll leave the whole. Yeah, the whole shebang of me making the thing up. If people want to go through and see how I did any particular thing or whatever, I think that's cool to keep that. I would have loved to have done that before, but otherwise it's like the process of trying to There was no, I don't think there was a way to just export giant Twitch logs to YouTube. I know you could export highlights. But there wasn't an easy way, you know. I'm trying to upload like all the footage or like locally record it all and all that kind of thing. I should start locally recording though so I can do the time lapse. That's probably a good idea. Or maybe I can just download the MP4 if you do. I probably shouldn't trust that I can do that. I should probably make the recording just in case. But then I can experiment with that afterwards. That might be a good idea. But YouTube doesn't always keep it as well, so maybe I should... yeah, I don't know. Usually just... I do it kind of the... Well, I think a non-traditional way. I just sort of record the whole thing and then I use like an AVI synth script to just sort of get every like 30th frame or however, or every 200th frame or whatever the frame rate is I want for the time I want and so on, and just zoom it all together that way. Oops, not the microphone. Combine two incompatible. How has he named it on the site? Just like that. The theme is horrid, but I have some ideas. I'm salty about the theme. How much it follows the theme, quality of the game. Yeah, I'm kind of, and it's a very like presumptuous way to look at it, but I see what he's saying. Made a generator just for this theme. Basketball playing game. Oh, this might be handy for people. I just feel like it's such a bad way to come up with game ideas, though. I really don't like it. I think it's just a bad practice. I think it's like, it'll sound exciting to people, and it's a good way of learning, and I think it's just a bad habit and a bad creative exercise, in my opinion. Funnily enough, Golden Pex, I'm actually doing that video myself, based on his talk. Because my patrons asked me to do it. I haven't played Rivals of Ether, but I think it looks really cool. I love the idea of it. But I'm not a Smash player or anything, so it's not like I'm not the audience for it as such. But I'm like the tertiary audience for it, but I've never gotten around to getting into it. I'm not the primary audience, but I am kind of on the outskirts of it. Sort of my kind of thing. I've just never had time to really play it. This is also streamed on Twitch, yes. Anyway, I think I've streamed enough for today. Or to this morning, whatever. I'm going to head off, and I will be back in about 8 to 10 hours, probably, depending how much I decide to sleep. Maybe a bit longer, because I might spend some time trying to come up with ideas and brainstorming stuff before the stream. I might stream that, I might not. I don't know. I can't provide a really solid estimate of when I'll start streaming again, but I'll be streaming throughout the weekend, so you'll catch me at some point tomorrow and for the rest of the weekend, other than when I'm asleep. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the stream if you stop by to watch, and best of luck if you're taking part. It's a rough theme, so yeah, best of luck with it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow.